If you haven't watched my channel before, welcome. My name is Roxy. I moved here to Ontario, Canada from England to live with my Canadian fiance, and I currently have a 2-year work permit visa with the intention of applying for permanent residence after. And I thought for today's video, as I've been here literally a week now, I would tell you guys the 5 things that surprised me when I initially moved here. So these things may be specific to Ontario. I'm not sure if they occur in other parts of Canada. I had visited Canada before I moved here last week, so I knew some of the things that were maybe slightly different to the UK. But these 5 things still make me go and it just took me an extra second of if you want to say culture shock, it's that, but it's not as dramatic as culture shock in my eyes. Differences, but ones that took a little while to get adjusted to. So in no particular order, the first thing I'm going to talk about is people talking to you on the street that you do not know. I experienced this before I moved here. We were walking around, me and my fiance, and somebody stopped just walking past in the street, said hello, and my fiance responded and said hello back, and I was like, oh, do you know them? And they were like, no. It's just a common occurrence. It's just politeness. I'm sure this does happen in places in the UK, maybe smaller villages and things. It definitely doesn't happen in places anywhere I've lived, and certainly not in London or any big city. For one, it would take all day. You'd be saying hello to everybody. But people, I know it's a stereotype, but people do seem more friendly here. They just seem to be able to talk to you. Before I'd even got here in the airport, I'd spoken to about 5 or 8 different people. Like, they're just chatty. People just, I don't know what it is. They just want to give more of themselves to you. If they can help you out, they'll help you out. So it is a weird one, but it's one I like. Next thing we're going to talk about is tipping, which is another thing that is a common occurrence here, and it's definitely not a common occurrence in the UK. So I believe it's the same here as it is in the States, that it's kind of 15-20%-ish, depending on maybe where you live province-wise. If you live in a big city, maybe it's a little bit more. That's generally for restaurants and things like that. I know in the UK people do tip. I would only tip if the service was like super exceptional, or like they'd done something extra special. Like if we were having a birthday party and they'd organised a cake, or they'd done something super above and beyond, that's when I would tip. Here it's expected as it's almost like a standard, like if you get everything you ask for, that's a tippable service, which to me it isn't, but I understand that it's the culture here, and it's something I'm just gonna have to get used to and just try and remember to factor that in when I'm paying for a meal. Number 3, this is gonna sound a little bit weird, but Amazon deliveries. Now I know they exist in the UK, that's not what's different. So if in the UK, if you order something from Amazon or any other provider, they would try and deliver it to your house. If you weren't in, they would take it back to their distribution centre or a local pickup point, or the Royal Mail collection offices and stuff like that. Put a card through your door, say your delivery's here, come and get it, bring ID, blah blah blah. That doesn't seem to happen here. I literally came home yesterday and there was a Walmart box on our porch, because there's people that live upstairs. I assume it was for them. It wasn't for us. But it was just on the porch. Like, they tried to deliver it and couldn't find anybody, so they just leave it. And no one steals it. I'm sure that does happen. I'm sure people do have things stealing off porches. Stealing? Stolen. But that weirds me out that you could deliver something and it's not in safe hands. Once the delivery person gets to your house, they kind of go, your problem now. So that's a little bit weird. So that's something to keep an eye on as we move forward. Maybe that will change. Maybe my feelings about that will be a bit different. We'll see. But yeah, that's number 3. Number 4, this is going to sound weird again. All of these sound really weird now. Eggs. Again, I know eggs exist in the UK. 2 things about eggs, actually. I'm going to make this A and B. So for A, when you go to the grocery store here, and I believe in the US as well, the eggs are kept in the refrigerated section. In the UK, they're kept on the shelf section. It's normally next to the baking goods, next to flour and sugar and stuff. They are not chilled in the store. However, the advice on the eggs, when you get home, you have to put them in the fridge. I believe this is something to do with the way, I can't remember if it's the way they're taken. It's something to do with chlorine or something. I can't remember. It's some chemical thing that means they have to be kept in the fridge here because it keeps it at a safe level. If you put them in the shelving units here, they'll be bad and won't be able to be eaten. So it's just weird. It's just knowing that they're next to the yogurts and the cheese rather than the flour and the sugar. Very odd. I'm going to add a C as well because I've just remembered something else about eggs. I don't know. This is going to turn into a YouTube post about eggs. So B, A is the fact that you put them in the fridge in the supermarket. B, they're mainly white eggs. Our eggs are generally all brown. Correct me if I'm wrong. From working in Tesco's, looking at eggs for delivery constantly. They're generally, unless they're duck eggs, I'm talking standard chicken eggs, they're generally brown. Here they seem to be white, so you can buy brown, I did see them, but they don't seem to be as common. I assume that's the breed of chicken. That would make sense. So it's not weird, it's just something that's a little bit different. You just have to take a second. And then C, you can't buy 6 eggs. I bought eggs today in Walmart. You can buy 12 eggs, which is fine, or you can buy 18 eggs. You can't buy half a dozen eggs. Well, not at Walmart anyway, which is bizarre because that's a fairly large supermarket. It's not like I've popped down to the farm shop. So that's odd. So fridge, white eggs, and 12 only. Can't buy less than 12 eggs. How dare you? And our 5th and final point of 5 things that surprised me in my first week in Canada. So, when you're crossing the road and cars are able to turn on lights, so the cars have right of way until they get to your crosswalk. So you have a light to cross. The car, even though the car is on a green light, has to stop for you to cross the road, which is crazy. In the UK, you'd be on a separate light. You'd have your own independent pedestrian crossing light. The car would turn and you wouldn't be crossing the road when the car was turning. Here you can, but the cars will stop. It's great. I like it. So that's my 5 things that surprised me about being in Canada for my very first week. Aside from all that, really enjoying myself here, having a great time. It's gone super quick. Who knew a week ago I was at home and now I'm in this beautiful sunshine enjoying myself. So keep watching the channel. Thank you very much for everybody that's commenting and liking the videos. I will do a question video because I know a few of you are asking questions in the comments, which is great. Really appreciate that. What I'll do is I'll do a full video and answer all the questions in one video rather than just replying, because I think that's a little bit more personal than if I try and answer everyone's questions all in one video. But yeah, if you aren't subscribed already, hit subscribe and the little bell and you get all the notifications, because there's lots of fun things coming. We have exciting things tomorrow to do, so there'll be a cool vlog about that. We've also got a wedding to go to next week after. We're going on a hike for a charity. We've got Canada Day coming on July 1st. There's going to be a parade. There's going to be all sorts of cool things happening. So keep tuned in. I'll keep you updated with all my things, Canada-ness, and we'll see where we go. Okay, thank you very much for watching, everybody. See you soon.